today.
Built Right. One location saves you money.
You gotta get to Built Right today.
Stay up to date with your trusted and relevant source in news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 11:01. I'm Greg Matzek. This is Wisconsin's Midday News. It's Monday, March 3rd. Your top story: an overnight shooting leaves 3 people hurt.
I'm Adam Roberts in for Jessica Ty. You still got to respond to that email.
Partly to mostly cloudy today. Chance for some rain. Isolated, however. Breezy at a high of 45 tonight. Mild. Scattered showers possible in a low of 40. 39 degrees and mostly cloudy in Milwaukee at 11:01 from the WTMJ Breaking Newsroom.
Just be advised, MPD District 5 just had a shooting with several victims. Sounds like at least 2 of them right now are being transported to Freighter.
Copy, thank you.
Multiple people injured after a shooting overnight in Milwaukee near the city's River West and Harambee neighborhoods. At least 3 people were shot. 2 vehicles were involved. No one is yet in custody.
A death investigation continues with an arrest in Kansas over the weekend that could be linked to an incident in Waukesha, where 2 people are dead. The Sheriff's Department responding to a home near Cider Hills Drive Friday for a welfare check where 1 person was found dead, other family members missing. A second person found dead in the home Saturday, a person of interest now in custody. Meanwhile, in northwest Kansas Saturday, Waukene police arrested a Wisconsin juvenile as a person of interest, they're calling it, in a double homicide. Juvenile now awaiting extradition back to Wisconsin. Waukene police have not said if the arrest is related to the Waukesha death investigation.
An apartment fire in Mequon leaves a woman in the hospital.
The fire broke out Sunday afternoon near Ivy Court and Greenbrier Lane, just off of Port Washington Road. 2 elderly sisters lived in the unit where the fire started. One of them suffered second-degree burns while trying to put out the fire. 2 pets, a cat and a parrot, died. Several units are now uninhabitable due to smoke and water damage. The building had sprinklers, but only in the hallways and the basement. Authorities are still investigating the cause of the fire. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
Hundreds of Milwaukee students in class today at a new school miles away. This after Trowbridge School is temporarily closed for high lead levels that were uncovered last month. Health Department Commissioner Dr. Mike Todorias says the presence of lead after previous cleaning efforts is what makes the Trowbridge situation different than other lead discoveries in MPS buildings this year.
Whatever process that had been used successfully in the other schools had not been used in Trowbridge, and there is the potential that the levels of lead dust within the school were significantly above what we had initially anticipated in the school.
Students and staff have transferred to Wisconsin Conservatory of Lifelong Learning downtown. It's unclear when Trowbridge could reopen.
Well, federal workers received another email over the weekend demanding to know what they did last week or risk losing their jobs. Elon Musk and Doge are doubling down after a similar email caused chaos when several cabinet secretaries and agency bosses said, "Don't reply." Musk said it's a mandatory pulse check, and the Office of Personnel Management says they're weekly. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says civilian employees need to respond to that note.
The directive to civilian employees will be clear. Reply to the email, CC your supervisor, provide without any classified or sensitive information, basic topics of what you did last week.
OPM is giving government staffers the option to write that all of their activities are, quote, sensitive.
Time now for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Losses for the big 3 so far this morning, though modest losses at that. The Dow down 83 points at 43,757. The NASDAQ is off 79 points at 18,767, and the S&P 500 is down 12 this morning at 5,943. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Times, 11:05.
Namaste.
Dan, what are you doing?
Shh, you're harshing my mellow. Join me in some breathing exercises to chase away the chaos.
Let's focus on our clients, since we offer an exceptional way to control the chaos.
Inspired Closets can more than double your closet storage space.
And we don't over-design projects, sending you 3 beautiful designs to fit your price point.
Plus, our true lifetime warranty makes it a no-brainer.
Get started today at InspiredClosetsMilwaukee.com.
Inspired Closets.
A wife and husband team.
Hi, I'm Jim Token, president of the Auto Dealers of Metro Milwaukee. Did you know that Adam members employ more than 7,500 people? Plus, Adam recently completed their 14th annual Feeding America Change Your Oil promotion. To date, Adam has donated over $875,000, which provided over 2.6 million meals. Start your next car search by finding an Adam member dealer at adam.com. That's ADAMM.com.
Artwork, especially original artwork, can be pricey. But when you take it in on consignment from nice people like you who are just ready to change the look of their home, you can price it right. And you'll find a lot of it at Design Exchange. Beautiful frame pieces by a number of notable artists. And new ones pop in all the time. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. In Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Now these tend to fly off the shelves. But don't worry, because our connection supplies us with a lot of them. Vintage ceiling tiles from once great old buildings in New York City that make for ultra-unique artwork. These items are definitely hard to find from anywhere else around here. So come take a look, and you'll probably find a treasure. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. In Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports desk. It's a Cactus League night game for the Brewers. They're taking on the Reds this evening in Goodyear. Christian Yelich, after making his spring debut on Sunday, says he's no longer concerned about the stability of his back.
You know, I kind of think I hit that milestone a while ago. Just like, all right, I feel pretty comfortable with where I'm at. And it was just cool to be out there, honestly, because it's just a long road from the last time that I did it. So the results will come later. And
hear the game on WTMJ with coverage beginning at 6:55. College basketball. The Milwaukee Panthers begin Horizon League tournament play Thursday night. The game will be played at the Klotche Center on campus. And the NFL League year and free agent period begins Wednesday of next week. The Packers agreed to terms on a 2-year deal with linebacker Isaiah McDuffie, according to ESPN.
Let's check those roads now. Your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. Heads up, if you're heading on 94 in Waukesha County heading west near Moreland Road, you're going to run into some road maintenance happening this morning and throughout the day today, and that's going to have that right lane closed. So just be mindful. It's causing a little bit of a backup as you're heading west. Just be aware of it. It's something you'll have to work around. Again, that right lane shut down due to scheduled road maintenance. Everywhere else right now is looking very good across the system. No major incidents or delays.
Mild temperatures today. Might see some pops of rain, otherwise cloudy and a high of 45. Overnight low of 40 degrees. Tuesday, scattered rain. Might even get a rumble of thunder. High of 47. Wednesday's high 46. Thursday's high 40. Friday, we introduce snow to the forecast, potentially, and a high of 38. 41 degrees and cloudy in Milwaukee at 11:09.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzek, and in for Jessica Ty, it's Adam Roberts.
Kind of lost track of this. We hit daylight savings again this weekend, right? So Saturday into Sunday, our annual Spring Forward, and a good time to check your furnace filters. I did that over the weekend. A little dusty, as you might expect. I don't know how long we're going to keep doing this. Every year, I feel like it's the last year. We'll have to talk about daylight savings, just like the KISS reunion tour. Just one more show, right? They promise you.
Shout out Crandon.
But it's interesting how many states just sort of do this on their own. Hawaii being one, Arizona being another. I get the feeling an executive order could just wipe away daylight savings in one felt swoop. But here we are, still talking about it, still dealing with it, I guess, for those who look at it that way.
Yeah, I swear, among those hundreds of orders to start the year, I could have thought that I heard mention, we're going to do this once, wipe it down and be over, but I guess not.
Yeah, so the big thing, I remember this covering spring training. Arizona does not subscribe to this, right?
So how does that work?
1 hour difference today, and when daylight savings hits and we spring forward, then it becomes a 2 hour difference for those who are in Arizona looking at what the time is elsewhere.
All right.
It's kind of strange. It's 11:10 here on WTMJ, following some big stories here this morning.
And now it's time for 3 Big Things on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Number one, new details, but still no concrete answers on the cause of death for actor Gene Hackman and his wife, Betsy Arakawa. They were found dead in their New Mexico home last week. Hackman was honored at the Oscars last night. ABC's Eva Pilgrim with the latest.
Investigators now analyzing data from 2 cell phones they retrieved from the home, along with thyroid and heart medications, a 2025 monthly planner, and records from MyQuest, a medical diagnostic service. Preliminary tests showed no signs of carbon monoxide poisoning. A full toxicology report has been ordered, but could take months to complete.
So another nugget here. Hackman's pacemaker recorded its last event on February 17th. His wife was found dead in a bathroom near a space heater. One of their German Shepherds was found dead in a closet. 2 other dogs were found alive. It's still a very strange situation. They ruled out foul play early on, but continue to say that everything is suspicious. They don't believe carbon monoxide was a factor here. It's a very strange situation that continues to be investigated.
And that last point you made about the German Shepherds, that's the one that is making me the most puzzled still. I know we talked about this last week, but the one of the multiple dogs being found dead while the others were alive, that's the sticking point for me here. Number 2, a former Marquette University residence life employee is now charged with altering data in order to secure a decade of free rent. This criminal complaint is very interesting that I have obtained. It concerns 40-year-old Michael Gerard, who was alleged to have altered billing data for the Marquette apartment he was living in near 17th and Wells, and it gave the impression he didn't owe any rent money for a decade between 2014 and last year. So he allegedly started changing the status of his apartment to say that someone with the university was already living there, saying his former boss gave him permission to do it. Hands up, hey, they told me it was fine to do this. Then admitted later he had altered the records because he feared a new director wouldn't allow those permissions that had been previously granted to continue. So this all comes out to about $63,500 according to this complaint. And I've seen a lot of chatter on social media about this story, basically equating it to that conversation, if you remember, Greg, in Anchorman, where Ron Burgundy's interrogating his dog about eating a whole wheel of cheese.
I'm not even mad. That's amazing.
So for what it's worth, the average rent of an apartment in around that camp is about $1,500 a month.
Very curious story. Very interesting.
Faces up to 13 and a half years in prison and $35,000 in fines if convicted, or about a couple years in those apartments.
Well, we'll have Brewers baseball on the air tonight. They begin the regular season a little over 3 weeks. 2025 home opener against the Royals is scheduled for Monday, March 31st, a 1:10 start. The home opener will be the first home game for the Brewers since the passing of Bob Uecker.
Our next broadcast will come to you from Arizona. That's what's going to happen. And we'll be back with you. And hopefully you'll be back with us.
That was Uecker's sign-off after a heartbreaking loss to the Mets in the postseason. Home opener is going to feature several remembrances, including Uecker's signature across the outfield grass. There will be a moment of silence and the debut of the Uecker jersey patch, which will be worn by pretty much everybody. There's going to be additional nods to Uecker throughout the game, and of course throughout the season. The first public, or I should say a full public celebration of life for Uecker will be hosted by the Brewers in August. Some more details to come on that. I talked to Jeff Levering a couple of weeks ago before he left for spring training, and Jeff felt like, the start of the Cactus League season he thought would, kind of feel a little bit more normal. The start of the regular season, being that it's on the road, is going to feel a little more normal because Bob just hadn't traveled in so many years. Right. But that home opener he felt was going to be the absolute toughest.
Absolutely. I'm already circling the date, and it's going to be an emotional day to get through, not just for those in the stadium, but anyone listening on WTMJ as well.
11:15 on WTMJ. Major happenings here in the state of Wisconsin, specifically the city of Milwaukee. Kind of an interesting State of the State address from Cavalier Johnson, only a couple of days after the city was beat up by a judge in a courtroom. We'll get through the details after this.
Whatever you want to call this season, we're over it. Time to look forward to...
Fly ball, right field, it is deep, it is gone!
Spring training is finally here and back on the radio.
It is up and it is gone! A walk-off homer for Vinny Capra.
Make sure to catch our next spring training broadcast as the Brewers take on the Reds, Monday at 6:55. No matter the season, we are the home of the Brewers. WTMJ.
Well, it's March. That means we are heating up here in the world of college basketball. No better place to watch Wisconsin or any of the teams play here than at Potawatomi Sportsbook, your home for college basketball throughout the month of March. Who's going to cut the nets down as they chase the trophy? We'll find out and hang out at Potawatomi Sportsbook. You can watch all the magic as it unfolds over the next few weeks, right? We got Selection Sunday coming up in just a couple of weeks here. We'll know what that bracket looks like. Check out Potawatomi Sportsbook and lock in your space. They've got a VIP deck for a more intimate gathering. They've got a wonderful floor where you can grab food from the kitchen and a drink from the bar and watch that 2,000 square foot video wall. There's no better place to watch sports and really no better event than what will unfold here in the next couple of weeks. Check it out. All the action at Potawatomi Sportsbook.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is, if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
This is Jeff Johnson.
And I'm Jason Johnson.
And together, we're part of Johnson & Sons Paving.
Get your parking lot ready now for spring and avoid paying for extra repairs later on.
We'll come out to your property and walk it with you.
Potholes, damaged asphalt, damaged concrete, standing water, you name it. We'll talk to you about your options and fix it.
Plan a budget, set up an overall schedule with Johnson & Sons Paving.
It's all about doing it right the first time. Call us today to schedule a walkthrough and free estimate.
JohnsonandSonsPaving.com.
All sorts of stuff happening in the city of Milwaukee today. Mayor Cavalier Johnson delivering his State of the State address. It's happening at the Baird Center. The city was beat up a little bit last week in a courtroom, found in contempt for its role in delaying the placement of SROs in Milwaukee public schools. And Brenda Casilius is still yet to sign her contract. We expect that to happen before too long. The contract goes into place later this summer, but Mayor Cavalier Johnson appears very ready and very eager to work with the new MPS superintendent on items moving forward.
I'm inviting Superintendent Casilius to work more closely with members of my cabinet. She knows that I'll be a partner, an advocate, and a participant in the work to improve our schools. I want to pursue that work with every interested party who shares the goal of improving MPS and education overall here in Milwaukee.
It's kind of one of those interesting deals, right? Milwaukee, the city of Milwaukee, and Cavalier Johnson don't preside over MPS specifically. Brenda Casilius will, and there will be a board in place and so on. But he certainly has a vested interest in making sure that MPS gets its act together a little bit. As it's been just kind of a collective mess over the last several years.
Which is why I think it's interesting to note that Dr. Casilius was in attendance for today's State of the City address, had the old media scrum around her after the speech.
Absolutely, and out comes another big issue here as MPS continues to lag nationwide.
We have great teachers. We have great students. I want great outcomes.
Well, and for that, in part, you need great teachers who are great at motivating and, getting the most out of each and every student. But retaining those high-quality educators is another trick.
Milwaukee's in a battle to retain the talent that we have and attract new talent. And I am here to tell you today that we will lose out. We will lose to other cities that are advancing innovative change if we allow the status quo to persist.
Yeah, that's a kind of an overarching statement here, but if you can dial that into what's happening at MPS, retaining your high-quality educators so they're not always on the lookout for another job at a different district.
Right, and now the State of the City address always gets broken down afterwards for what was said, what were the points that were made. Also interesting to know this year, you talk MPS, what wasn't said during the speech. And in a related story, the SRO situation, school resource officers, we were wondering if the mayor would take time to address it. That was not the case. He did not make any mention of the ongoing school resource officer situation, though the Common Council is supposed to meet later this afternoon, or at least part of that council will meet to formalize that resolution to then send it on to the full council for a vote tomorrow.
And then you have the students at Trowbridge Elementary School. They're getting used to new surroundings today because, well, they have to. Trowbridge closed until further notice as the health department continues to deal with a lead paint issue in MPS.
In recent weeks, The Milwaukee Health Department has identified some MPS schools with some lead hazards. The department has issued orders and raised broader concerns.
I can only imagine the complications in getting all those students not only placed, but then on the family side, to get those students to and from school, right? Miles down the road, maybe no busing available at that junction when you talk about a different school. It's all different bus routes and so on. So some major issues that MPS is continuing to sort itself through. Bretta Casilius will hopefully help that, but the mayor commenting on most of those things today. But not the SRO situation in which the city was beat up last week in a courtroom. Deservedly so.
I would say so. Also not mentioned in a little bit of an unrelated note, HACM, the housing authority, which has been through its own hell for the last 12 months. No mention of HACM in the State of the City speech either.
Yeah, that remains in flux, too. It was thought that the mayor was pointing his finger toward one direction. That person sort of backed out of the whole thing. There are existing board members who feel they are the right folks to run HACM. That's been kind of a disaster for the last several years as well. So State of the State address happening at the Baird Center here, and hopefully more info and understanding of when those SROs will be in place before too long so that the city doesn't go through a $1,000 per day fine. 11:22 on WTMJ. We'll get an outlook on the week's weather with Tyler Moore after this.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix-It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guest, Capital Heating and Cooling and J&B Construction. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. And at 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ.
Helping people and families seriously injured in accidents and standing up for victims to take the burden off your shoulders. It's Gruber Law Offices. Greg Matzek here saying if you've been hurt in an accident, you make a call to Gruber, and they really handle the rest. It is sort of a one-call-that's-all situation. You've heard David say that a number of times. Well, they stand by it at Gruber, one of the largest personal injury firms in the Midwest. They get results and have been doing so for 4 decades. That's right, 40 years of getting results and giving back to the community. Also very important here for the folks at Gruber. Family-run business. They do great work, and they are great people. Locally known and nationally recognized, it's gruber-law.com if you've been hurt in an accident, or a simple phone call to 414-276-6666.
Accunet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Chief Anti-Heartbreak Officer Brian Wickert. While national headlines talk about the inventory of homes for sale being a lot higher this year, that's still not the case in most of Wisconsin. The good news is that now, even in winter, Accunet's experienced loan consultants are already helping many of our pre-approved home shoppers become homeowners and avoid the heartbreak of losing in a multi-offer situation. Sure, you can go with a flimsy, unimaginative bank pre-approval, or you can present your offer with an Accunet rock-solid, fully verified, and guaranteed pre-approval that also might come with the phrase that really makes sellers happy: no appraisal required. When an appraisal is needed, we can also show you in dollars and cents what it means to willingly pay a certain dollar amount over the appraised value if that's what's needed to win, which is usually a lot less scary than people imagine. Reduce your risk of home shopper heartbreak by getting started with your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval at Accunet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
Let it rain, let it pour. She don't love me anymore. Just let it come down.
We might see a little bit of rain today and throughout the week. I do see snow later in the week, but anything that falls, I can't imagine would be sticking around too long. We've kind of reached that point. I don't know if every day is going to be like this, but the low temperature tonight is higher than the high yesterday, right? I think that's how it shapes up as we settle into a day in the 40s here. Cloudy, though, as we welcome in TMJ4 meteorologist Tyler Moore. Hey, Tyler.
Hey, guys. Good morning.
Hey, happy to have you along for the ride here. So what are we looking at here throughout the week? It seems like we're in kind of a mild pattern. Does it hold?
Yeah, honestly, it looks like it's going to hold this week. You mentioned that little dip in temperatures later in the week does bring a little bit of snow chances into play, but you're right, nothing too major. And I am excited about next week. I hate looking forward to the following week when we just started a new one. But, if we're looking forward to spring, I think we have our first real shot at 60s for the year coming up next week. So that's something to look forward to. As it looks like most of March, we're going to settle into a pretty mild weather pattern. Of course, there's going to be drops and ups and downs, but overall, it looks like the next couple of weeks are looking pretty mild.
When it comes to those like month out forecast models, Tyler, historically, how accurate have those been? Because I know we always talk about not wanting to look too far ahead with a forecast, but there's a lot of technology usually at your fingertips when it comes to that.
Yeah, there's a good amount of accuracy for it. I'll say within about a month, we can get a pretty good handle on patterns. Now, the exact storm track and your day-to-day weather is very questionable, but we can get a general idea of what we call the atmospheric flow, or where the jet stream is going to set up and kind of where that favors warmer and colder temperatures. Obviously, north of the jet stream, you got colder air. South of the jet stream, you got warmer air. So based on that positioning among the model guidance, normally there's a little bit more of a consensus on where that's going to end up. But that's why we can get a pretty good idea on either above or below normal temperatures. We just can't get very granular detail to the day-to-day with the storm track and the rain or snow type and the exact high temperature. But, yeah, give it a couple weeks out, we can normally tend to nail down some decent forecasts in terms of temperature trends and also precipitation trends.
So how did February end up in terms of, temperatures? Were we about on par with previous Februaries or a little different?
It was actually a colder February, one of the more recent colder Februaries that we've seen. It was actually, it's the first time in a couple of years, too, that we've seen back-to-back below average temperatures. January was colder than normal, and then February was also colder than normal. And we did see close to average snowfall for February. We're still behind in a total for the winter season, but it was nice to at least get some of that snow in February, and our temperatures come in below average. It also wraps up meteorological winter, so that's December, January, and February. And those 3 months as a whole also ended up slightly below normal temperature-wise, only about a degree below normal. So pretty close to average for our temperatures this winter.
Well, looking forward to a nice March here. You heard it from Tyler. I think he officially said just run the gas out of your snowblower. You're good.
Book it.
I did not say that. Please do not do that, or I'm going to get some hate mail coming in. Those spring snowstorms, they love to be wet and heavy when we get them.
Well, they could definitely pop up. I feel like Mother Nature should take care of it now. Tyler, we appreciate it, man. We'll check in again later this week.
Yeah, have a great week.
You do the same. It's 11:28. News is coming up.
Hi, I'm Tony Drake from Drake & Associates. If you're in or near retirement, you're facing one of the biggest financial decisions of your life. When to take Social Security. Should you claim it now or wait for a bigger benefit? The wrong decision could cost you tens of thousands of dollars in lost income. And once you lock in your choice, there's no do-over. The truth is, Social Security is more complicated than most people think. The age you file, your marital status, other income sources, all of it impacts how much you'll receive. And in today's economy with rising costs and uncertainty about future benefits, you need to make every dollar count. At Drake & Associates, we help hardworking Americans make smart decisions about retirement. Income is just one stop on your retirement-ready roadmap, and we'll help you navigate every turn so you can maximize your benefits and keep more of what you earned. Don't make this decision blindly. Get the facts and a plan today. Text SS to 414-897-9522 to claim your free retirement toolkit and a copy of my book, Get Retirement Ready. Inside, you'll learn strategies to help optimize your Social Security, reduce taxes, and create a retirement income plan that works for you. But don't wait. These resources are only available while supplies last. Secure your future today. Text SS to 414-897-9522. Drake & Associates, helping you retire with confidence.
Drake & Associates LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates LLC does not provide legal or tax advice. Past performance is not indicative of future performance.
I'm Greg Matzek. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Monday, March 3rd. Your top story, out as the CEO of a major grocery chain.
I'm Adam Roberts. The search for a missing Oak Creek teen continues.
Partly to mostly cloudy today, a chance of some rain and a high of 45. Scattered showers possible tonight and a low of 40. It's 41 and cloudy in Milwaukee.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Fire crews up against 175 wildfires burning across South and North Carolina. One fire near Myrtle Beach that doubled in size this weekend is now 30% contained, allowing some evacuated residents to return home.
Dry and windy conditions are fueling the fast-moving wildfires as much of the southeast is in moderate drought. Officials in the fire zone warn the dry conditions will remain today before much-needed rain tomorrow and Wednesday.
ABC's Andrew Dimbert. Following last week's fallout during talks with Ukraine's leader, President Trump, today meets with key security advisors. President Zelensky met with European leaders over the weekend, now working to draft their own peace plan to help end that war. German authorities investigating a car attack in the city of Mannheim. 2 people killed, several others injured. Police detained a 40-year-old German. Pope Francis is in his third week of a hospital stay at Rome's Gemelli Hospital, battling pneumonia. The Vatican says he's doing okay. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News time is 11:31.
A grocery chain CEO resigns following an ethics investigation. Kroger CEO Rodney McMullen out effective immediately over conduct issues. The company clarified that McMullen's conduct is not related to Kroger's financial performance, operations, or reporting, and it did not involve any Kroger associates. Lead director Ron Sargent will serve as chairman of the board and interim CEO. Kroger operates Pick and Save and Metro Market stores in Wisconsin.
A former Marquette University residence life employee is charged with altering data. 40-year-old Michael Gerard alleged to have altered billing data for the university apartment he was living in, giving the impression he didn't owe rent money between 2014 and last year. Gerard initially said his former boss had given him permission to use the apartment rent-free, later admitting to altering the records. He faces 2 felonies and up to 13 and a half years in prison.
Oak Creek police need help finding a missing teen. 13-year-old Lillian Asala was last seen about 4:30 Saturday afternoon near South Pennsylvania Avenue and East Forest Hill Avenue. Asala is described as a white female, 5 feet 5 inches tall, weighing about 140 pounds, blonde hair with braces. She was last seen wearing a black winter coat, blue jeans, and blue and white Nike shoes. You can see photos on our website at WTMJ.com.
A woman from Sheboygan heading to the West Coast this month to present her award-winning bra to the Olivia Newton-John Foundation.
You had to decorate the front of the bra, the back of the bra, the clasp.
Tiffin Wyckoff's contest entry won.
Then I want a trip for 5 days to California, and then I will have lunch with Olivia Newton-John's husband, and then present the bra to the Olivia Newton-John Foundation.
Curves, a women's health and fitness club with locations around the world, sponsored the bra decorating contest to raise money for the foundation.
Are you supposed to wear it, or?
No, it wouldn't fit. I won't say which way.
In Sheboygan, Vince Vetrano, WTMJ News.
Olivia Newton-John passed away in 2022 after a decades-long battle with breast cancer.
Identity thieves have a favorite season. That kept consumer expert Michelle Reinen tells Wisconsin's Weekend Morning News.
Tax time and tax season is one of those times we need to be on high alert from identity thieves because they will attempt to steal consumers' tax returns by filing their stolen information.
One way to prevent theft is to set up an identity protection PIN with the IRS and the Wisconsin Department of Revenue. And before disposing of any unneeded tax information, Reinen strongly recommends shredding those documents.
Brewers nighttime baseball in Arizona. We got that plus the roads in your 5-day forecast next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News time is 11:34.
I can see the breath inside my house. This is how horror movies start.
First, the cold seeps in. Next thing you know, you're spooning your cat for warmth.
I tried it. He bit me.
Jason, come on, man. You need a new furnace. Don't you know that Capital is giving away the furnace when you get a new AC?
Giving as in free?
Yeah, but call Capital before this turns into the horror version of Frozen. Call Capital today and get a free furnace with a new AC.
Old-fashioned service, you can't go wrong. Call CapitalCares.com.
For over a century, local radio has evolved with the needs of the community. From politics to pop culture, we keep you informed, bringing you the most relevant news, online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
New treatments for joint pain are here. By now you've heard about regenerative medicine. If you're wondering if you're a good candidate, answer these questions. First, Does chronic pain in your knees, hips, shoulders, or other joints keep you from doing the things you enjoy? Golfing, jogging, time with the family. Does it hurt doing the things you need to do? Like getting out of bed, sleeping, working, and walking. And finally, do you want to avoid surgery and all of the pain, long recovery, and uncertainty that comes with it? If you answered yes to any of those, you need to call QC Kinetics now. Learn about exciting advancements in regenerative treatments that can give you long-lasting pain relief with no drugs, no surgery, and no downtime. Get your free consultation today. Call QC Kinetics. That's QC Kinetics. Here's the phone number.
Call now, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. We got some night baseball here for the Brewers. They'll take on the Reds in Goodyear this evening. Christian Yelich made his spring training debut on Sunday. No longer concerned about the stability of his back.
You know, I kind of think I hit that milestone a while ago. Just like, all right, I feel pretty comfortable with where I'm at. And it was just cool to be out there, honestly, because it's just a long road from the last time that I did it. So the results will come later. And
Hear the game on WTMJ with coverage beginning at 6:55. College basketball, the Milwaukee Panthers begin Horizon League tournament play Thursday night. They'll have a home game. That game will be played at the Klotche Center on campus. And the NFL league year and free agent period begins Wednesday of next week.
Let's check the roads. Now your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. Still have a few backups associated with that scheduled road maintenance on 94 West with the right lane blocked at Moreland Road. Also a couple broken down vehicles, one on the ramp from 94 East to Brewers Boulevard. That's on the right shoulder there. Then another new one just right on the Milwaukee-Racine County line, 94 South. Beyond the Elm Road ramp, get the right shoulder blocked with a black vehicle there as well. Your drive times, though, looking good. No major incidents or delays.
Might see some isolated rain later on today. It's going to be breezy, a high of 45. Scattered showers tonight, but mild, a low of 40. Scattered rain on Tuesday. Might hear a rumble of thunder at a high of 47. We stay in the 40s throughout the bulk of the week. We dip a little bit on Friday with a high of 38. 40 degrees and cloudy in Milwaukee at 11:38. Well, in the wake of President Trump's tense Oval Office meeting with Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky, several world leaders got together in support of Zelensky and Ukraine over the weekend. That includes Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. He was in London for a European summit, and Ukraine was a topic of discussion.
I continued to emphasize to him that Canada will always stand with Ukraine.
It all stems from a tense meeting between Zelensky, President Trump, and Vice President J.D. Vance at the Oval Office, and it played out for the world to see. We welcome in ABC's Steve Roberts. Steve, sometimes these meetings with world leaders in the Oval Office are just very cordial, right? The made-for-TV portion. Who knows what they're talking about behind closed doors and how tense that gets. But the tense nature of that discussion played out for the world to see. What was the strategy here?
Well, I don't think there was a strategy, but in terms of television shows, he for 14 years was the star of a reality TV show, The Apprentice, right? He was very good at it, and his signature moment was turning to someone and saying, "You're fired." Well, that's basically what he did in the Oval Office on Friday. I mean, he no longer is head of a show called The Apprentice. He now runs a show called The President. And you have to think of it as a reality TV show because he thinks of it as a reality TV show. And he revealed that on Friday. Now, when you're running a reality TV show, what's your metric for success? It's ratings. And Donald Trump was great at ratings, and he was great at attracting votes. But being president is very different from running a TV show. And being an entertainer and a performer, which he's very good at, is very different from governing. And the results of that blow-up might have been great TV, but it's been devastating in terms of the impact around the world, in terms of America's commitment to the basic doctrine of peace through strength, as Ronald Reagan articulated it, which has kept the peace in Europe for 80 years. And so you had, as you point out, 19 European leaders gathering in crisis in London on Sunday to try to figure out how do we replace the American commitment? How do we keep Ukraine on the battlefield? But it's even larger than that. How do you deal with a post-World War Europe where America's commitment to Europe is now in question? America's commitment to NATO is now in question. America's commitment to the Reaganite principle of peace through strength is now in question. So this was a very, very important moment that goes well beyond reality TV.
It felt at times kind of like a lecture to me, Steve. And one of the headline lines from Trump is, "You're gambling with World War III." If you're going to write a headline story, that would be the headline. "You're gambling with World War III." That's the one that jumps off the page to me.
Well, in my view, it's not Zelensky who's gambling with World War III. It's Trump. Because how has World War III been prevented? What is the basic principle, the bedrock idea that has kept the peace in Europe? Let's remember, Europe, which spawned two of the most deadly and dreadful and tragic wars in human history in the space of, a couple of decades. And since 1945, the peace has been kept there. How? Not through appeasement, but through strength, through the NATO alliance, which is said to Russia, attack on one is attack on all. And that basic commitment has kept Russia in check. And now that commitment is in question. And it's not just in question around Europe. It's in question around the world. Because if you're sitting in Beijing and you have your designs on Taiwan, and you see that Donald Trump says, well, we've got this big wide ocean between us and Europe, and we don't have to worry about Europe. Well, there's an even bigger ocean, the Pacific, not just the Atlantic, but the Pacific between America and Taiwan. And is it fair for people in Beijing to say, wait, if Trump is not going to defend Ukraine because he doesn't see it in America's national interest, is his commitment to Taiwan in question too? And does that open the way for us to be far more aggressive and imperialistic? So this is a very, very important moment in terms of how America views the world and how the world views America. And therefore, how does that lead to more dangerous and threatening actions on the part of dictators around the world?
So that brings me back to the summit of European leaders on Sunday, right? You have NATO members there, Canada, Turkey invited to the table. And I'm sure some of that discussion, Steve, was, okay, so what can we do for Ukraine? How can we help out in this situation? But some of that discussion had to also be the United States' role in NATO. How do we move forward working with the United States after all that played out for the world to see?
Sure. And look, over the weekend you had Elon Musk play such a strange role in the American government today, but he, on social media, raised questions about whether America should even stay in NATO. So, this all reminded me of 1941. Germany had swept westward through France and stopped at the English Channel. And all through 1941, America debated how much should we be aiding Britain. And Britain was hanging by a thread, bombed every night by German bombers. And in the end, it took, for all the ways in which America tried to help England through Lend-Lease and shipping supplies, in the end, it was only Pearl Harbor that really brought America into the war, and a full-throated commitment to saving Europe. And that eventually was what turned the tide of the war. It took several more years, of course, before America was able to roll back the German advances. But the lesson that was learned from that by most people on both sides of the Atlantic was that appeasement does not work, and that the only way to deal with bullies, the only way to deal with imperialists, the only way to deal with dictators was to match their determination with strength and commitment. And that's exactly the theory behind NATO, and that's exactly what has worked. And so the real fear that people have right now is not just about losing Ukraine, or it's about the larger idea of is this basic commitment, this basic structure, this basic value system now in question with Donald Trump as president.
ABC Steve Roberts. We'll check it again soon. Steve, appreciate your time today.
Anytime.
Coming up next, the Packers want to see you, specifically Packers fans, in the stands next season. We'll explain.
The Census Bureau says more than 12,000 Americans turn 65 each day. It's a surge they call Peak 65, the highest number in history. Some Annex clients retire early. Some keep working because they love it. You know why? Because they've got custom plans built by fee-only fiduciaries. They identified their wants and needs, and we went to work. We want to do the same for you. Annex does financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Visit AnnexWealth.com and click the Get Started button.
Wisconsin's hometown pizza is Palermo's. Why not make it a Palermo's day or night in your household? We did it over the weekend, as a matter of fact, darting around on Friday night, got home, thought, well, what are we going to do for dinner here? My daughter and I knocked out a Screamin' Sicilian thin crust. It was perfect. Perfect. It was delicious. Made by Palermo's, Screamin' Sicilian. You can't go wrong. You could try Connie's Urban Pie, the Primo Thin. There's even a breakfast pizza. You really can't go wrong with Palermo's. They've been doing it for 60 years. They got an understanding of how to make the best frozen pizzas you are going to find. They've been doing it and doing it right here in Wisconsin, specifically. Get over to the Sendix and stock up. They got a great offer here. Connie's for $5.99. It's in offer now through March 4th. Sendix and Connie's, $5.99. Stock up, load up the freezer, and get one in the oven tonight. It's Palermo's, Wisconsin's hometown pizza.
Hair Volume is the best-selling hair tablet in the world and one of many award-winning natural hair products from New Nordic. Purchase at newnordicusa.com or CVS.
Hi, I'm Jim Token, president of the Auto Dealers of Metro Milwaukee. Did you know that Adam members employ more than 7,500 people? Plus, Adam recently completed their 14th annual Feeding America Change Your Oil promotion. To date, Adam has donated over $875,000, which provided over 2.6 million meals. Start your next car search by finding an Adam member dealer at adam.com. That's ADAMM.com.
It's here on consignment from over 10,000 nationwide partners. From very high-end, distinctive furniture, unique antiques and original art, to tasteful home decor that can fit almost any budget. Premium home decor priced right at 25 to 40% off retail prices. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating taste come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Smart interior designers know that what they'll see here is going to be almost impossible to find anywhere else, especially at our consignment prices. Premium home decor that's gently loved and close to new. And what we carry can raise the wow factor of anyone's home decor. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Tired of staring at the same old garage door? Vince Vitrano here. Lifetime Door Company wants to give you a new one for free. Your chance to win by texting GARAGE to the WTMJ talk and text line 855-616-1620. All you need to do is take a picture of your garage door or get creative. Tell us a story. Register to win and you can pick the door of your dreams. Valued at up to $8,000, text GARAGE to the WTMJ talk and text line 855-616-1620. For contest rules, visit our website, WTMJ.com.
Greg Matzek, Adam Roberts with you. It's Wisconsin's Midday News. So I am not a Packers season ticket holder.
Nor am I.
I do have some friends whose families have been on the list for years, and I have other friends who have been on the waiting list for years, and who knows what that is going to amount to. The Packers announced prior to the weekend here another incremental season ticket price hike between $7 and $21 per game. Now, historically, and I use Mark Murphy as the reference point here. Under Mark Murphy's watch, the Packers have been slightly above league average in terms of their average get-in cost for a football game. They've creeped up a little higher on that list. They're now in the top 10 most expensive tickets in the NFL, but they also have a great product. Interestingly enough, the Lions are among the most expensive tickets in the NFL. It's not been the Packers' goal to have the most expensive tickets. And if you look at the season ticket waiting list, I don't know if fans really care. You know what I mean? Just overall, I think there's an expectation that, the prices are going to go up a little bit year after year. I think people still enjoy their time at Lambeau Field like no other, and that list is long for a reason because there is tremendous demand for tickets at Lambeau Field. The Packers could be the most expensive ticket in the NFL, and nothing would happen with that list.
Can confirm I got on that list for the first time right away when I turned 18. I never expect to ever get to number one on that list.
So here's the most interesting component of a recent communication sent to season ticket holders. By far the most interesting part is that they are cracking down on season ticket holders who have sold 100% of their tickets and for multiple years.
Mm-hmm.
Those who have done so are losing their tickets. You are out of the contest. You are out. Anybody ready to assume those tickets on the waiting list steps into that role. So here's exactly what it reads. The organization is continuing its non-renewal exercise, which has taken place in recent years to ensure Packers season tickets are being used as intended. In other words, by Packers fans. This year, as part of the exercise, the organization declined to renew the season tickets of accounts that have sold 100% of their tickets for regular season games for multiple years. Tickets not being renewed will be offered to fans on the waiting list. Account holders with tickets not being renewed are receiving letters from the Packers ticket office with more information. We've got a lot of listeners and a lot of fans for WTMJ. Have you received this? Are you on the list? Have you received this from the Packers? And what is your reaction? It's a very interesting mechanism to try and curb the amount of purple and Honolulu blue and insert opposing team's color scheme into the conversation here.
And that has been something that, as you and I, we kind of hear the pulse of Packer fans. That has been something I have noticed a lot more these last couple of years is, boy, we're really seeing a lot more of X jersey than we used to even 10, 20 years ago.
Now, in going to Green Bay for so many years, my assessment was that it felt to me that more of the gold season, gold package tickets, in other words, those in Milwaukee that would make the drive up, it felt to me like there were more opposing team colors in the stands for gold package games. That's just a very unscientific scattering of the stands for 10 years straight of going to games. That was my assessment. And do what you want with your tickets. I am a little surprised to see the Packers go to this length. I think on one hand, you could say, who are the Packers to tell you what you can and cannot do with your tickets?
I suppose, and also should note that this is not like a giant chunk of their 40,000 season ticket accounts. It's, I think Aaron Popke with the team said it's less than 1%. But that 1% would argue, hey, I paid my money. I can do what I want with this, regardless of what it means for home field advantage.
Not exactly sure how many years quantifies multiple. I mean, it could be 2.
Mm-hmm.
Might be more than that. Who knows? But yes, season ticket holders have received a letter if they have sold 100% of their tickets for multiple years. I'd be venture to guess that not all season ticket holders live in the state of Wisconsin.
That's a good assumption to make.
I remember this from the RNC. I met a delegate from Guam.
That's right.
And he's a season ticket holder for the Packers. Well, he tries to get to one game a year, but otherwise he's selling them. I don't suppose he's received this letter because he's not sold 100% of his tickets, but he does sell some of those tickets, and it could be to a Lions fan or a Vikings fan or a Steelers fan or a Bears fan, for example.
But how much of that ultimately does come down to the free market? If you, as you note, that list is some 5 figures long, and it probably will be forever. There's clearly demand beyond just Packers fan base, and I don't know if you encounter this issue with other NFL stadiums. It's all anecdotal. I don't know for sure, but the free market's going to have some say in this too. If a Bears fan or whatever wants to pop that ticket up, because singles game seats are hard to find sometimes at Lambeau Field. I've been trying to get up to a game for years.
Well, I can guarantee this. Packers fans are going to continue buying tickets in other teams' markets. That's not going to stop.
The Packer occupations of Soldier Field and whatnot will continue.
Well, and not every fan base or every organization has the luxury to do what the Packers are doing, right? Think about trying to fill the stadium in Jacksonville, right? Packers fans will do it. Jaguars fans won't. So there's not a ton of leverage there from teams to try and do what the Packers are doing here. But very interesting. Tickets up anywhere from $7 to $21 per game for season ticket holders. So now the Packers are in the top 7 or so for a get-in cost. And that's well above $100, but nowhere near as expensive as the Lions. The Raiders are very expensive and not a very good team either. So Packers still not in the top 5 here by most metrics, but definitely higher than the league average. It's 11:55 on WTMJ. We've got news coming up, and coming up in the 12 o'clock hour, happy to be joined by Tim Sheehy, Senior Advisor to the MMAC, on some very interesting development projects here in the city of Milwaukee. It's all coming up.
We've all heard of Larry Bird.
Larry Bird at the buzzer.
Allow us to introduce Derry Bird.
It's A.J. Green splashing a three down from the right wing on the other end of the court. It's a one-point game.
Giannis back to A.J. A.J. going to try to answer. Off-balance three, and he hits it. How did he hit that one? The Derry Bird going deep into his bag of tricks there.
We're the home of Derry Bird and the Bucks. WTMJ.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzek here. Boy, it looked like a great weekend at the Hounds and Tap in Menominee Falls. We had our dog with us for the bulk of the weekend, but sun shining. People were happy as we drove by. Dogs were out socializing a little bit and starting to break free from winter. And what a great time to hang out at the Hounds and Tap. You can do it. Bring yourself, bring your dog, catch a drink, watch a game, get some food from a food truck. What a great way to spend a portion of your evening or your Saturday or Sunday. Sundays are family days, so you can bring the kids as well. It's the Hounds and Tap in Menominee Falls, but their daily services are second to none. Grooming, daycare, boarding. Really, it's a one-stop shop for anything related to your dog right there at the Hounds and Tap. Check them out in Menominee Falls, right off Silver Spring, and experience what we've experienced over the last couple of years. It's no other place like it. The Hounds and Tap in Menominee Falls. Check out the Facebook page. See those happy pups. They've got pictures posted every day. And visit the website. Get all set up at the Hounds and Tap. Visit thehoundsandtap.com.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix-It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guest, Capital Heating and Cooling and J&B Construction. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. And at 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ.
Vince Vitrano for Connect Chiropractic. Winter shoveling, hibernating, being a couch potato. Chiropractic can help bring back your energy. Headaches, neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain. How quickly you can see results will vary from person to person, but time and repetition is key to staying on the right track. No twisting, no cracking, no popping. At Connect Chiropractic, they use an instrument called the Integrator that allows them to be gentle and specific with all their adjustments. New location coming soon to Oak Creek. Get started at goconnectchiro.com.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Do you have a written financial plan? Hi, I'm Aaron Kowal of Kowal Investment Group. We have recently joined Creative Planning, a national registered investment advisor. This move allows us to provide more comprehensive wealth management services to help with all aspects of your finances, including your investments, taxes, estate plan, and more. At Creative Planning, we understand life is busy, and sometimes important things like retirement planning can fall to the wayside. So I'm here to remind you to take time to plan. A 1-hour complimentary consultation with our fiduciary advisors will help you get started on the path to your dream retirement. We will review your current financial situation, your goals and needs, and help you plan for life's what-ifs. Don't delay planning for your future any longer. And even if you already have a plan, a second opinion from our advisors can help determine if there are adjustments to make. Kowal Investment Group is now Creative Planning. Visit creativeplanning.com to get started. That's creativeplanning.com.
This change has leveled us up while being able to maintain the same quality of service that we've always provided, with no upfront fees and 1.9% real estate commission. We're proud to be part of the Century 21 family, so you can move fearlessly with the added confidence of top-of-the-line marketing for maximum home exposure. And that means more eyeballs and the real potential for the highest price for your home. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated. First off, our 1.9% commission structure helps get their foot in the door, and that's why agents like working here. But what they really like is having the strongest marketing tools available, with the resources to help them sell homes at the highest prices to satisfy their clients. Century 21 Benefit Realty offers what agents like most, and that's to help them be successful. If you really want to believe in the business model that you're representing, give me a call. I'm Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty. Call me, and let's talk about your future. Each office is independently owned and operated.
Built Right Furniture, Leather, and Mattress.
You gotta get to Built Right today.
Breaking news as it happens. Stay up to date with your trusted and relevant source in news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 12 o'clock. I'm Greg Matzek. This is Wisconsin's Midday News. It's Monday, March 3rd. Your top story, a death investigation continues in Waukesha.
I'm Adam Roberts. Could talks resume after a Friday shouting match?
Partly to mostly cloudy, isolated showers possible, breezy and a high of 45. Scattered showers expected tonight, mild and a low of 40. We stay in the mid-40s for the bulk of the week. We cool off a little bit by the end of the week, a high of just 38 degrees on Friday. It's 40 and cloudy in Milwaukee at 12:01 from the WTMJ Breaking Newsroom. A death investigation and an arrest in Kansas over the weekend tied back to Waukesha County. Waukesha County Sheriff's Department responded to a home near Cider Hills Drive Friday morning for a welfare check where they found one person dead and other family members missing. A person of interest is now in custody. Meanwhile, in northwest Kansas on Saturday, Waukene police arrested a Wisconsin juvenile as a person of interest in a double homicide. Waukene police have not said if the arrest is related to the Waukesha death investigation.
A former Marquette University residence life employee is now charged with altering data that allowed him to live rent-free allegedly for a decade. 40-year-old Michael Gerard alleged to have altered billing data for the university apartment he was living in between 2014 and last year. Gerard initially said his former boss gave him permission to use that apartment rent-free, but later admitted to altering records. He faces multiple felonies and up to 13 and a half years in prison.
Milwaukee Common Council Committee will vote this afternoon on a resolution to return school resource officers to Milwaukee Public School buildings. The Judiciary and Legislation Committee's special meeting comes after a Milwaukee County judge found the city in contempt over their noncompliance on the issue last week. If passed, that resolution would go before the full Common Council during their meeting on Tuesday.
The Trump administration says the president is open to resuming talks with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on a minerals deal after their shouting match late last week.
While President Trump may be ready for negotiations, National Security Advisor Mike Waltz told Fox News that Zelensky,
he's not ready to talk peace at all.
But he didn't rule out that the two sides could sign a deal in short order, and Trump would announce it in his address to a joint session of Congress tomorrow night.
We'll see what happens in the next 48 hours, but we are certainly looking to move forward in a positive way.
That contradicts what Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent told Face the Nation yesterday.
It is impossible to have an economic deal without a peace deal.
Stacey Lynn, CBS News, the White House.
Honoring Mr. Baseball on opening day. Brewers Chief Operating Officer Marty Wronski tells ESPN Milwaukee fans will notice a key piece from the team's spring training park will also be present at American Family Field.
We're going to have Bob's autograph really big in the outfield. That's probably the best way he can be with us and with everybody in that way.
Other remembrances will include a moment of silence and the Milwaukee debut of the Euchre jersey patch on all on-field personnel jerseys, along with additional nods to Euchre throughout the game on opening day. That'll be against the Royals on March 31st. The team is planning a larger celebration of life for Euchre in August.
Time now for news about your money, the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Down day for the big three, and that's continuing into the afternoon. The Dow's off 177 points at 43,665. The NASDAQ down 165 points at 18,682, and the S&P 500 off 27 this hour at 5,927. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 12:04.
The pulse of the Milwaukee Bucks, straight from a Bucks legend.
Can't get it off. Marcus Johnson will, though. Can't leave him alone for a 12.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson on Bucks Plus. Marcus and his son Chris offer a weekly beat on Bucks basketball. Get your questions answered and hear from the biggest names in basketball. Find Here District with Marcus Johnson at bucks.com/plus on the Bucks app or wherever you get your podcasts.
My name is Emma. I'm 25 years old, and I work at the Wisconsin Athletic Club. And I just love what I do here because I feel like I helped a lot of people. I hope that other kids can have a goal that they can move out and live independently too. I've had all these opportunities because somebody said yes to me.
Live life to the fullest with Thinkability Wisconsin, a resource hub that supports people with disabilities throughout their lives. Connect with a real-time navigator at thinkabilitywi.org today.
Hi, this is Bruce Nemovitz, Senior Real Estate Specialist and founder of Bruce's team. We understand that moving from your longtime home can feel overwhelming. Ready for a smaller space, warmer climate, want to live closer to the grandkids, or you're just sick of the upkeep? From downsizing to preparing your home for sale, our team has guided over 3,000 families through the transition. Bruce's team helps you every step of the way. Let us take you from overwhelmed to I can do this. Visit brucesteam.com today.
No shortcuts, no compromises, just the job done right. At Exterior Pros, we don't just meet expectations, we crush them. Every nail, every window, every shingle is a step toward your home's next chapter. From the moment we start until that final reveal, we're committed to making your home better than ever. Quality products and craftsmanship you can count on. Go to the pros for your next project. Get started today and save $2,000. Visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274. That's 262-800-4274.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Brewers had a night game in the Cactus League tonight. They'll take on the Reds in Goodyear. Christian Yelich made his debut on Sunday. No longer concerned about the stability of his back.
You know, I kind of think I hit that milestone a while ago. Just like, all right, I feel pretty comfortable with where I'm at. And it was just cool to be out there, honestly, because it's just a long road from the last time that I did it. So the results will come later. And
Hear the game on WTMJ with coverage beginning tonight at 6:55. The NFL League year and free agent signing period begins Wednesday of next week. The Packers are re-signing linebacker Isaiah McDuffie on a 2-year, $8 million deal, according to ESPN's Jeremy Fowler. And just updated here, the latest AP Top 25 college basketball poll. The Wisconsin Badgers moved down one spot to number 12 after Sunday's loss at 8th-ranked Michigan State. Marquette Golden Eagles are up one spot to number 20.
A WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic alert. We have a freeway closure right now. It's on 894 West. The freeway is closed. All lanes shut down at 76th Street. This is due to what the Department of Transportation is only referring to at this time as, quote, an incident. The cameras are turned off, however, for the DOT from about 76th Street past Highway 24 and points west. And right now that means we've got backups stretching from the point of closure all the way back east to about Loomis. So be mindful and plan for an alternate route around that point if you are heading west on 894. Again, the freeway is closed at 76th Street. This just in from the DOT because of what they are calling a, quote, incident. We'll work to get more information on that and pass it along as it is available. Everywhere else on the system right now is looking okay.
Partly to mostly cloudy today, a chance for some isolated showers, breezy and a high of 45 degrees. Scattered showers possible tonight, mild and a low of 40. Scattered rain on Tuesday, maybe some thunder and a high of 47. Looks very similar on Wednesday with a high of 46. It's 40 and cloudy in Milwaukee, approaching 12:09.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzek, and in for Jessica Ty, it's Adam Roberts.
Great to be with you here on a Monday afternoon. Jessica will be back tomorrow. It was hopping downtown yesterday, so we came down for the auto show about 10 o'clock yesterday morning, and the auto show had a nice crowd at it yesterday. There was a volleyball tournament happening at the Baird Center, just one of the multiple use opportunities for that incredible facility. You had pro bull riding happening at Fiserv Forum. So, and a great day of college basketball. So people were settled into the market hall for lunch. It was busy as could be here. It was a great day to be out and about doing stuff, and downtown was popping. That was good to see.
Yeah, I commented to my wife as I was dropping her off at work at Skylight Music Theater that I always know when downtown's hopping when I go around the 3rd Ward on Broadway and I cannot find a single parking spot in that boulevard where the parking lots are right in the middle, and that was definitely the case on Sunday.
Yeah, some hints of spring here, right? As we hit 12:10 on a Monday, some big stories that we're following today.
It's now at noon on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Well, the trial of a suburban Chicago man accused of a mass shooting at a 2022 Independence Day parade that killed 7 and wounded dozens other is underway. Robert Cremo faces 21 counts of first-degree murder, 3 counts for each person killed, as well as 48 counts of attempted murder. Authorities allege Cremo perched on a roof and fired into crowds assembled for the 4th of July parade in downtown Highland Park. Victims range in age from 8 to 88. The 24-year-old Cremo pleaded not guilty and rejected a plea deal last year. So now he's in court and, if convicted, expected to spend the rest of his life in prison.
Number 2, the CEO of a major grocery company with a big Wisconsin footprint announcing his resignation this morning amid an ongoing ethics investigation.
My name is Rodney McMullen, Chairman and CEO of Kroger.
Not anymore, he's not. This goes back to about February 21st. The board says they were made aware of personal conduct issues regarding McMullen, immediately retained counsel, conducted the independent investigation, and now McMullen is out. McMullen not commenting on his decision to resign yet today, nor has Kroger clarified what conduct issues led to that resignation. They did say, though, in a statement this morning, it is not related to their financial performance, their operations, and also did not involve associates with the Kroger company. Board appointing Ron Sargent to serve as CEO for the interim. That's effective immediately. This, of course, comes after the Federal Trade Commission killed a planned $25 billion merger between Kroger and their rival chain Albertsons. Kroger, of course, with a big footprint in Wisconsin between the metro markets and Pick and Saves in southeast Wisconsin.
And finally, firefighters are making progress, but a state of emergency remains in place in the Carolinas after an outbreak of wildfires. Crazy video over the weekend. Firefighters battling 175 wildfires across South and North Carolina, prompting evacuation orders in both states. ABC's Stephanie Ramos is in Myrtle Beach.
One of the largest fires threatening communities near Myrtle Beach. A wall of fire burning down on homes near the Carolina forest, leaving hundreds of trees charred. The South Carolina National Guard deploying 2 Black Hawk helicopters to help fight the flames. Emergency personnel racing to extinguish the fire, too.
Yeah, the fires doubled in size over the weekend, specifically in this area near Myrtle Beach, from 600 acres to 1,200 acres. Now it's about 30% contained. Some residents have been able to return to their homes. It's dry, it's windy, it's fueling the flames. A little break today as forecasts call for a little more humidity and wind should die down a little bit. Officials still unclear of what caused any of the fires.
This, of course, still very fresh with what's happened earlier this year in Southern California. So your thoughts go out to the region. Definitely not one that usually sees this type of weather or fire situation.
Some interesting development on the horizon here for the city of Milwaukee. What could it mean collectively? We'll check into it with senior advisor to the MMAC. It's our weekly check-in with Tim Sheehy after this.
Spanning the State with Kristen Bry.
This is a terrible bill. You know, this would probably disproportionately affect Republican women. This is a slippery slope if you start making it harder for women to vote, because there's enough people out there who would rather we didn't.
And Brian Noonan.
Say women were in charge, and this was going for men. Men would take to the streets. Any group that votes against their own self-interest baffles me.
Weekdays from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Only on WTMJ.
At Kendor Marine, we have everything you need but the water. For over 50 years, boaters have found that to be true. Because when they've needed that old part they thought they'd never find, guess what? They found it here, along with everything else you need to keep your boat out there on the water. This is Dave Doro, and boaters in the know exactly where to go. Kendor Marine, 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin.
Hey boaters, cruise to Kendor Marine. We've got everything you need but the water.
KendorMarine.com.
Hey boaters!
Well, if you have an old boat, new boat, or in between, then Kendor Marine is a great place for you to shop. Because not only do we have all the parts and accessories you need for almost any kind of boat, we also have the expert advice that just about any boater is one day gonna need. I'm Dave Doro, and boaters in the know exactly where to go. Kendor Marine, 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin.
Hey boaters, cruise to Kendor Marine. We've got everything you need but the water.
KendorMarine.com.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here for CertaPro Painters. Painting is the easiest way to breathe new life into your home, whether you're prepping to sell it or just want to fall in love with that house all over again. I know CertaPro Painters has done the work at our house. They're absolutely fantastic. Call your neighborhood CertaPro Painter. Ask about their color consultation services. Each CertaPro Painter's business is independently owned and operated. They're fantastic. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. When choosing a painting professional, the choice is simple. Choose happy. Choose CertaPro Painters.
Update now on our WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver traffic alert. Right now, 894 West is closed. And all three lanes, I should say. Traffic right now being directed off the freeway at 76th Street. This is for what the DOT is calling a, quote, incident. We got multiple squads on scene. And right now, all that traffic being directed to the right. You'll have to exit at 76th Street. Backups now stretching east of Loomis. So if you have an option to take the alternate route, I would recommend Layton, then head west and get back on the freeway, maybe 84th or 92nd Street, and then make your way from there. But again, right now, full freeway closure, 894 West at 76th Street due to what is being called an incident.
45 degrees the high today, overnight low of 40 degrees. Might see some pops of rain. Could introduce some thunder to the equation tomorrow. Rain is possible and a high of 47. It's 42 and cloudy in Milwaukee at 12:16. 12:16ish on a Monday. Time for a weekly check-in with MMAC Senior Advisor. It's Tim Sheehy. How's the weekend, Tim?
Great, and I'm glad I'm not traveling west.
Yeah, well, we'll keep you updated on the situation out there with road closures as well. Hey, we spoke last week about the idea that professional soccer, outdoor soccer, could return to Milwaukee. It's been kind of quiet on that front for about a year. This is part of the Iron District near Marquette. Could it be viewed as a milestone last week, what we hit, in the idea that there could be future development on that site?
Yeah, very definitely. And in full disclosure, MMAC has a nonprofit real estate development arm called the Milwaukee Development Corporation, led by Pat O'Brien. And we just purchased the site for $9 million, lease it back to Bear Development, which is the entity that's really driving this development. And so it is a major milestone. It allows them to start down the process of finishing raising the capital that they need. It's 7 acres. We're talking about apartments. And Jim Kazmarek, who's been leading the charge to try to get soccer in there, which would be great to have a professional soccer team in there. I want to say it's roughly an 8,000 seat stadium, but it's also great for Marquette. They get their soccer team can play there, their lacrosse team can play there, and if this is successful, ultimately that stadium's expandable.
This is a story I've been covering very closely, Tim, for the last couple of years. And one of the things that stuck out to me about all this is the timeline, because it seems like things have shifted a lot over the last 2 years. As of right now, 2026 is the target time for our first match. How critical is it that they actually stick to a timeline and leave it at that at this point, given how many times it's moved in the past?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, there are a lot of moving parts to this. So there is an apartment building that's up, lower income apartment building that's up there. The land's been cleared. This is a major piece of the financing to get this money in place and get the land in place. But I think it's better to do this right than to rush it. And again, you've got moving pieces. What's it going to cost in the demographics of getting the soccer team in there and getting it successful? Building out a component of this space that has, retail and commercial. So I think this is a big piece of the momentum of moving this forward. And you've got some really high quality individuals in terms of Bear Development, Jim Kazmarek.
Is it soccer stadium or bust here, Tim?
Well, that's certainly a major component of it. It is. I don't know that this project goes without the soccer stadium. And so all these pieces fit together in terms of, activating the site, providing Marquette with the opportunity, providing rental income. So they all kind of work together, and they're going to need to work together.
The Iron District here we're talking about near Marquette's campus, a little bit further, I guess, north would be the Deer District, and they've got more They've always got something up their sleeves, but the latest year, $100 million project, what is all included in that?
Yeah, it's really interesting, and we've been around long enough that we can go back when that was a patch of barren ground that just, sat forever, and thank goodness it was there because it became home to the Fiserv Forum. This latest development, in addition to the entertainment center that's going in there and the hotel that's up running in there, the Trade, which is doing very well, this development will add, I think, about 270 apartments. It gives MATC about 30,000 square feet for athletic facilities in there. There's a 18,000 square foot plaza you can activate. And so it's really going to be another piece of the fabric that's going to make that Deer District really an anchor for this part of the city.
It's interesting, Tim, during the State of the City address, Alderwoman Malele Coggs introduced Mayor Cavalier Johnson and mentioned about how we're seeing all these tangible growth projects downtown. But don't forget the person who lives at 45th and Wright who may ask, okay, well, how does this impact me? How do I stand to gain a benefit from this project? Can you expound on that?
Yeah, that's a great question. And maybe the easiest way to answer the question is that downtown is about 3% of the city, but it provides 30% of the city's property tax revenue. So as downtown grows, it quite frankly doesn't take that much in services. And that property tax revenue, which flows to the city, it is really the largest source of the city's income, can be used to help improve the neighborhoods in the rest of the city. So it really is, to be trite about it, a win-win for the neighborhoods when downtown grows.
I want to talk about the airport as well. There was a press release that was sent out about a week ago or so about a development that includes a new cargo hub. We typically talk about, new flight offerings to Austin, Texas, or San Diego or something like that, which are great. What could this mean for the region?
Well, it certainly means we're not going to package you up in a box, Greg, and ship you off somewhere as a new flight service. But, seriously, if we remember, go back in time, the 440th Reserve had, I think, 30 buildings adjacent to the airport. And when that reserve went away, we had all this unused property, all these empty buildings. So what Crow Development is going to do, and they're out of Dallas, they're going to come in, take down a number of those buildings. They're going to rebuild, I think, about 288,000 square feet of hangar space that can hold, I think, at any one time, 5 747s. And they'll be able to run cargo in and out of here, which is great for our economy because it brings cargo in and out of here. It's great for the airport. I think the airport will get something like $1.3 million in landing services, another $1 million in rent, and all that helps the airport grow and develop. So it's good for the airport. It's good for the economy in terms of being able to ship goods and services out of here on a more efficient basis. And it cleans up a spot around the airport that, quite frankly, has been sitting vacant.
It's good news for the airport. Also, Tim, want to get your thoughts on the planned $10.5 million upgrade to the concourse, the international concourse. We haven't heard a lot about it since late last year. Are you hearing any movement on that front at all?
Yeah, again, this is really, if you think about the airport, even though it's a Milwaukee County airport, it obviously services the entire region, including northern Chicago. And its entire operating budget is funded by the landing fees of airlines. So the airline, what gives me some hope is that unless the airlines, believe that they can fill this international hub with flights in and out, they aren't going to want to see the $10 million spent on it. And so maybe they see an opportunity here. We've talked over the years. We have flights, seasonal flights to Mexico, to other parts of the Caribbean. We at one point talked about flights from here to Iceland. And so as the opportunity to reach additional markets either directly or seasonally grows and the airlines get confidence in them, then I think this thing will happen.
So let's put all of these things together in the hopper, right? We've talked about them individually, but what does this mean for momentum and maybe future projects here in and around the city? Yeah, it's a really good question. And if you think about the viability of a region, it's really based on the region's livability, your ability to recruit and retain talent, and your ability to grow your economy. And all of these, in one way or another, make this a more livable region, more housing options, more attractions, things to do. The cargo hub feeds a growing economy.
And all of this inures to Milwaukee's ability to grow by adding assets that either people can use or companies can use.
You brought up the point of retention, Tim. I want to play you a cut here from the mayor's State of the City speech where he made a reference to exactly that.
Milwaukee's in a battle to retain the talent that we have and attract new talent. And I am here to tell you today that we will lose out. We will lose to other cities that are advancing innovative change if we allow the status quo to persist.
So in the litany of things that this city faces as far as challenges, where does talent retention rank on that list?
Well, talent retention ranks number one. And when I talk about talent retention, I mean the ability to have net migration, more people living here than moving out. And probably the most important part of talent retention is our ability to develop our young people, our K-12 population. They're here, they understand the community, and if we can get them to be productive citizens with a great education and plug into the economy, that's the most important thing that we can do to help this community continue to prosper.
Always great information. Tim Sheehy is the senior advisor to the MMAC, weekly guest here every Monday on Wisconsin's Midday News. Appreciate it, Tim. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. It's 12:25 on WTMJ. News coming up, plus a little update on a traffic mess that has recently popped up here in southeastern Wisconsin. It's all coming up.
Hi, I'm Jim Token, president of the Auto Dealers of Metro Milwaukee. Did you know that Adam members employ more than 7,500 people? Plus, Adam recently completed their 14th annual Feeding America Change Your Oil promotion. To date, Adam has donated over $875,000, which provided over 2.6 million meals. Start your next car search by finding an Adam member dealer at adam.com. That's ADAMM.com.
For 70 years, Geis has been the trusted garage authority in Wisconsin. Greg Matzek saying, don't let a busted garage door get you down. Forget about that. Call Geis. I've made that call. They've come out and helped us. That's right. With brands like CHI and LiftMaster, Geis has doors for every budget. They even have a very cool custom design room at their showroom in Brookfield, right off Barker Road. I was amazed. People handcrafting a garage door, getting it ready for stain. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Swift and reliable garage repair solutions are available for you by visiting GeisDoors.com. You can also check out that showroom in Brookfield featuring hundreds of doors and openers. That custom design room, they got something for every budget. Don't think twice. Call Geis and visit GeisDoors.com.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Chief Anti-Heartbreak Officer Brian Wickert. While national headlines talk about the inventory of homes for sale being a lot higher this year, that's still not the case in most of Wisconsin. The good news is that now, even in winter, AccuNet's experienced loan consultants are already helping many of our pre-approved home shoppers become homeowners and avoid the heartbreak of losing in a multi-offer situation. Sure, you can go with a flimsy, unimaginative bank pre-approval, or you can present your offer with an AccuNet rock-solid, fully verified, and guaranteed pre-approval that also might come with the phrase that really makes sellers happy: no appraisal required. When an appraisal is needed, we can also show you in dollars and cents what it means to willingly pay a certain dollar amount over the appraised value if that's what's needed to win, which is usually a lot less scary than people imagine. Reduce your risk of home shopper heartbreak by getting started with your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval at AccuNet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
Now, about your house. Eric Brown is the president of Siding Unlimited, your contractor for new windows, roofing, siding, decks, and a whole lot more. He knows about your house. So what do you know, Eric?
Siding is what pops on your home. Clean lines, beautiful accents, and wonderful colors can make your home really look amazing. Homeowners are always looking to add curb appeal when buying new siding, and a well-installed product from Siding Unlimited will definitely deliver a grand appeal. There is so much more to gain from replacing your siding other than the curb appeal you're already seeking. There is so much value in having new siding with low maintenance. Just an annual cleaning with the hose is all you really need to do. You can't get much lower maintenance than that. The process of replacing siding gives homeowners a fresh start, a new understanding knowing that we can peel back the old stuff and get a real in-depth inspection on the walls on your home and the structural integrity. How has the home performed over the past 20 years? We'll see it all when removing the old siding. There's a high percentage your home is missing the most important factor in siding a home, and that's a working water barrier. Many homes built in the 1990s and prior don't have a water barrier beneath the siding, and homes that were built in the 90s that do have one probably have a water barrier that was installed incorrectly. New siding replacement assures us that we install the water barrier correctly and protect the home moving forward. Our process always includes adding insulation board to the wall. This gives you a water barrier underlayment and additional R value, which is an energy coefficient, so warmer walls, adding more value to the project than the expected curb appeal. As the new siding goes back on, we know your home will be ready to manage water well into the future and look amazing doing so.
Eric and his crews at Siding Unlimited are your go-to contractor here for siding and also replacement windows, roofing, and decks. Take the next step. Check them out at sidingunlimited.com. Siding Unlimited, siding and a whole lot more.
I'm Greg Matzek. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Monday, March 3rd. Your top story, temporarily transferring schools.
I'm Adam Roberts. No evidence of fraud in Wisconsin.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. The Vatican says Pope Francis experienced 2 more respiratory episodes today. ABC's Terry Moran is in Rome.
This is more significant language. Acute respiratory failure caused by a significant accumulation of mucus in the lungs that required 2 bronchoscopies to clear abundant secretion. So his lungs are struggling.
The 88-year-old pontiff has been hospitalized for 18 days. European leaders, after meeting with Ukraine's President Zelensky this weekend, say they support a deal that brings lasting peace between Ukraine and Russia. It follows last week's fallout from Zelensky's meeting with President Trump, who said Zelensky doesn't appear ready for peace. In Illinois, the gunman in the Highland Park 4th of July shooting in 2022 pleaded guilty today to murder charges and other counts. It avoids a trial for the defendant, Robert Primo III, which was set to begin today. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 12:31.
Hundreds of Milwaukee families begin taking their students to a new school miles away. Trowbridge School is temporarily closed after high lead levels were uncovered last month. Milwaukee Health Department Commissioner Dr. Mike Todoritis says the presence of lead after previous cleaning efforts is what made the Trowbridge situation different than other lead discoveries in MPS buildings this year.
Whatever process that had been used successfully in the other schools had not been used in Trowbridge, and there is the potential that the levels of lead dust within the school were significantly above what we had initially anticipated in the school.
Students and staff have transferred to Wisconsin Conservatory of Lifelong Learning. It's unclear when Trowbridge School could reopen.
Racine County, if you're monitoring, West Dallas Police Department in pursuit. White Chevy Tahoe.
Police still searching for 2 people who fled from their car after a multi-county chase through southeast Wisconsin over the weekend. It started in West Dallas with a white Chevy Tahoe with Illinois plates being chased for reckless driving across multiple counties. Speeds even reached 100 miles per hour. Officers eventually stopped the car in Salem Lakes, arresting 5 18 and 19-year-olds from Illinois. Drugs and ammo were found in the car, but no firearms.
An audit of the November election shows no fraud in Wisconsin. Released by the Wisconsin Elections Commission, no evidence was found that any voting machine or software had been hacked or otherwise tampered with. President Trump defeated former Vice President Kamala Harris in Wisconsin by just over 29,000 votes. In 2020, when President Trump lost to Joe Biden, there were allegations of widespread fraud. 2 partial recounts, a nonpartisan audit, and multiple lawsuits did not support those claims. The post-election audit is required under state law and has been done after each general election since 2006.
A woman from Sheboygan heading to the West Coast this month, presenting an award-winning bra to the Olivia Newton-John Foundation for Breast Cancer Research. Curves, a women's health and fitness club with locations around the world, sponsored the bra decorating contest, and Tiffin Wyckoff's design won.
I didn't want to get my hopes up, but I was awesome. I was just, when I walked into Curves in Sheboygan Falls, they're wow. I was thrilled how it turned out.
Olivia Newton-John battled breast cancer for decades before passing away in 2022.
Well, the Packers want to do away with season ticket holders who sell all of their tickets and never go to games themselves.
It is getting to be incredibly expensive to go to games.
NFL tickets are pricey, and there are fans who sell their seats to make ends meet.
I don't have a problem with season ticket holders selling 2-3 games.
But ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher, a Packers Hall of Famer, tells Wisconsin's Morning News he understands why the team doesn't want you selling all of your games.
I get where the Packers are coming from.
The Packers say this is going to affect less than 1% of season ticket holders. Eric Bilstead, WTMJ News.
We'll have the latest on a freeway closure on 894 West in just a moment, plus your sports update and 5-day forecast. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News time is 12:34.
Well, if you need flagstone for your new natural patio, Erickson's is the place to find it. We have the largest selection and 15 styles to choose from. And for decorative stone, Erickson's is your best choice. Our decorative stone is trucked in from all over the country. We buy straight from the quarry and cut out the middleman to keep your prices nice and low. Erickson's Landscape Supply. High-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection. So he said to me, "Boy, oh boy, do you got the boulders." And I said, "You betcha." And he said, "Do you mind if I cherry pick?" And I said, "Feel free. They're all beautiful and they're all granite. Sparkling pinks, blues, and grays from 4 to 36 inches. And they're all priced right because we buy direct from the source nationwide to give you the look you want." Erickson's Landscape Supply. High-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection.
Many times, patients have symptoms they didn't know were actually related to their airway breathing issues.
I was suffering from sinus issues, jaw issues, and neck pain. I guess I just kind of had my breaking point.
Unfortunately, this is typical. But until you get to the root of your problem, it's going to just persist. Fortunately, Jody took action, and the results were typical as well.
My quality of life is so different, but one of the first things that I noticed was my breathing. I don't ever remember being able to breathe like that.
Being able to breathe freely is life-changing, and the effects can go beyond that.
Sleeping better, having more energy, and it seemed as if all of those symptoms that I had just melted away.
And thank heavens for that, because at Advent, results are what drive us, helping you breathe well so you can live better.
Results may vary. Most insurance accepted.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports desk. A Cactus League night game for the Brewers, taking on the Reds in Goodyear this evening. Christian Yelich, making his debut on Sunday, says the back is feeling good, no longer thinking about it.
You know, I kind of think I hit that milestone a while ago. Just like, all right, I feel pretty comfortable with where I'm at. And it was just cool to be out there, honestly, because it's just a long road from the last time that I did it. So the results will come later.
Here tonight's game on WTMJ with coverage beginning at 6:55. And the Badgers basketball team drops one spot to number 12 in the latest AP Top 25. Marquette moves up one spot to number 20.
WTMJ, Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic Alert. Still have a freeway closure west on 894 at 76th Street. The DOT is calling this an incident. I have checked in with the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office. They have not provided any information yet on the closure. I would recommend, if you can get off the freeway before Loomis, if you are heading west, do that and then take Layton to get to your area around 84th or 92nd Street to get back onto the freeway. You will be directed off the freeway at 76th. If you remain on it, that is ongoing right now. You'll be shunted over to the right side. Again, full freeway closure, 894 west at 76th Street. All lanes blocked due to an incident.
Mild temperatures today. You might see a little bit of rain, a high of 45 degrees. Very mild tonight, an overnight low of 40. Up into the mid to upper 40s on Tuesday. Possibly a rumble of thunder. Stay in the 40s throughout the week here until Friday. Just a little bit of a cool off with a high of 38. 41 degrees and cloudy in Milwaukee at 12:38. I mean, there could be rain. There could be a blizzard tomorrow. There could be pretty much anything.
There might be.
Wind advisory. Air quality alerts. People are still going to get their Putski and donuts.
Yeah, they are.
And if they're doing it, they're likely to do it at National Bakery. It is the Super Bowl this time of year as we approach Ash Wednesday, the start of the Lenten season. And, of course, Fat Tuesday means that difficult-to-pronounce Polish donut becomes ever the more popular. Brian Krause runs National Bakery here in Wisconsin, Milwaukee specifically, and he is gearing up for a very, very busy day. It's already been very busy for you on the lead-up.
That's right. These 2 days are crazy for us. And today everybody wants to get them a little bit early. So there's a lot of people sneaking in on the day before so they don't have to fight any lines or anything. But yeah.
So I know the doors close to the public at some point, but is it really a round-the-clock effort? And if so, when does that begin and when does it end?
It is, and there's a lot of prep, just even months leading up to it. We're getting our supplies, and I mean, right after the first of the year and stuff, some of the ingredients, and making our big orders, as late back as even August to make sure that we get everything. We don't want any supply shortages or anything like that. So it's a big deal. There's a lot of planning involved.
There's a lot of bakeries across southeast Wisconsin, Brian, that do this every year. It's not just one. But what makes I'll just give you an opportunity, pitch it out here. What makes the National Bakery Punchki number one?
Well, we're fortunate. Right now we're turning 100 years old, and we're kicking off our 100-year anniversary with Punchki Day since we thought this would be a perfect time to do it. We still have a lot of the almost all of the old recipes that we started with, 100 years ago. We've kept all of those intact. So I think when you take all of that and you put that together with the changes, so it's really been through 3 generations of the Wisniewski family that started it. Then there's another family, the Ward family, so they brought it up another notch with production and even marketing to a certain extent. And I think when we bought it about 17 years ago, my partner Jeff Kalin and I think we had it a whole different dimension too. So, we try to be accessible. We work with our staff. We don't want to just be above average. We really want to be, we want to excel, and we push our customer service to be number one. We really do. It's not a thing. So we have a lot of local people that come in. We can be their ear if they had a death in the family, they got something big going on. We're there, and that's at all 3 of our stores in Greendale, Brookfield, and our main one on 16th Street.
So give us an idea here, just some perspective. How many punchki will fly out the door tomorrow, and then how much a percentage of your entire year's worth of punchki go out on Fat Tuesday?
So I'll start with the first question, and that's we're doing about 40,000 punchkis between today and tomorrow. And I sort of touched on it. So we're so busy even today, with the people coming in early and stuff. Our main baker is he's in there right now trying to get some stuff out just to give some people by the end of the day. So we're looking at about 40,000 between the 2 days, between today and tomorrow.
That is unbelievable.
And we do have punchkis year round, a little known secret, but we do our special butter dough just these 2 days, and people love the butter dough, and we roll out a few different flavors like the lemon and the raisin too that we normally don't have in.
I'm glad you brought that up because I've seen punchki available across southeast Wisconsin on any given day of the week, whether it's February or August, but I'd always wondered what makes the ones on Fat Tuesday so special. So little insider secret.
Yeah, we love it. People love our butter dough. It's a richer, just more dense and chewier dough, so it's really unique, and people love it.
Brian Krause joining us from National Bakery. Also wanted to talk to you about your production. Obviously, the cost of eggs is through the roof. You're a scratch baker.
Yes.
You're talking about 40,000 punchki going out the door in about a 30-hour period. Certainly, the cost of doing business has gone up for you. Mm-hmm. How are you managing through this?
It's something we're constantly monitoring. It's you want to take it seriously. A knee-jerk reaction would be to raise prices. We work very closely with our supplier. We work with mostly with Valley Bakers. It's a Wisconsin co-op that's out of Appleton area. We have a great relationship with the CEO there, so we can really just even text them and call them if we need to find out more information. So we're trying to get a gauge on where those prices are going to be. If it's temporary, like the prices are going to keep going up. We know that over the next maybe year and a half, we suspect. Right now, we just a very modest increase over last year. It's not. I think we went up like maybe a dime or 15 cents, so it's not much. But we could, if it keeps sustaining, if the price keeps going up, we might have to go up a little bit more. But it's something we're always monitoring. We're very sensitive to our customers, and we do have a lot of older customers that like to come in, a lot of seniors and stuff. So it's. If we can absorb a little bit of it to keep the customer base rolling in, that's what we're going to do sometimes.
Can you talk a bit about the relationship between, you mentioned you get your eggs from a co-op in the Appleton area, and how that helps kind of navigate this process? Is it better to know that your eggs are coming from somewhere close-ish, Appleton to Milwaukee, versus a distributor from somewhere else in the country?
100%, and this ties into the whole conversation. So if we know we might have to pay a little bit more, we have assurance from our distributor that there's going to be a supply coming in. So I'm not sure if that's exactly what you're thinking of. So it's a known source. We know where we're getting them from, and we know that they're going to be coming in. So 100% when we have something big on the line and you want to keep your business open, that's really important to us.
I can't even imagine how many pallets of eggs you will go through in a week, right? I mean, do you even count?
Of course I do. I do all the buying actually for us. So
lay it out there for us.
Yes, it's out. And it's not necessarily pallets, but we go through probably about 400 pounds or so on an average week.
I'm trying to do the math in terms of cartons, right? How many pounds would a carton of eggs be?
Yeah, so we actually buy them by the bucket. So we have 30-pound pails coming in. So
okay,
we could have anywhere between 20 to 40 come in. It depends on the week what's going on.
Pails of eggs, that makes me nervous. I how do they not crack in that thing?
Oh, sometimes they do.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. These actually. Because we do such a large quantity, these do come in frozen pails, actually.
Okay.
So they're frozen eggs that have been cracked, and they're liquid eggs, basically.
Oh, got it.
See, that's why you count your eggs before they're cracked.
That's right.
Okay. Well done, Adam. There. Yeah.
Thank you.
Press the buzzer. 12:45 here in WTMJ. Puchki Day tomorrow. So give us an idea for what's going to happen today. If somebody's walking into the store looking to get a jump start instead of tomorrow at 5 a.m., will they find what they're looking for?
If they have an order, they will definitely be fine. We make sure all the orders are taken care of. And right now, there's a little bit of everything left. I think it's going very fast. So if we don't have any left today, we're definitely going to have a lot. We're going to have thousands in the store tomorrow. We're going to be fully packed. So we always want to take care of the customer orders, but there's going to be so many. And then what we do too is, you guys may know this, but we have an accordion player at each of our three stores. We make it really fun. Our staff's in T-shirts, volunteers are all in T-shirts, so it's a totally festive environment. We have balloons because it's our 100th anniversary and stuff up in the area. So we try to make it a party. It's a big. There's nothing to be sad about in a bakery. We try to make it a big, happy party, if you will. Like you said, at the beginning, it's kind of our Super Bowl. So we have a great time with it, and our staff, they love it. Our bakers will. Even though they have no sleep, there's nothing they like more than seeing everybody come in the store with happy faces and getting all the product. And they love seeing a full store, and it makes our whole staff happy. They love it.
Well, congrats on 100 years of doing it right at National Bakery. Brian Krause visiting us here. We appreciate it, Brian. Get some rest yourself.
Hey, thank you so much.
1247 on WTMJ.
Hey, boaters!
Inexperienced boaters are more than welcome here, because at Kendor Marine you'll find all the answers to your questions on parts, installation, troubleshooting, and the best part is, when we figure out what you need, we can grab it from our massive inventory of boat parts and supplies that no one around can match. I'm Dave Doro, and boaters in the know exactly where to go. Kendor Marine, 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin.
Hey, boaters! Cruise to Kendor Marine, we got everything you need but the water.
KendorMarine.com.
Hey, boaters!
Where else are you going to find weather stripping for a 77 Carver? That's what he said, and I don't know the answer to that one, but he sure was glad he found it here. I'm Dave Doro with Kendor Marine, and when it comes to boat parts and supplies, we have it all. If you're a boater and you need it, we got it. And that's why you got to get here. Boaters in the know exactly where to go. Kendor Marine, 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin.
Hey, boaters! Cruise to Kendor Marine, we got everything you need but the water.
KendorMarine.com.
Let's take your inside living outside. Outdoor Living Unlimited puts cool stuff in your yard. Patios, decks, pergolas, outdoor kitchens, screen rooms, even in-ground pools. You dream it, we design it together, then Outdoor Living Unlimited installs it for you. OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
Nestled in the heart of the Kettle Moraine Forest lies the historic Fox and Hounds Supper Club. WTMJ's John Mercure here. I love the Fox and Hounds. Journey through 90 years of history in the timbered stone structure. It's gorgeous. And when you buy one dinner, your second dinner is free 7 days a week. An amazing deal at an amazing place. Choice steaks, ribs, seafood, pasta, a big fresh salad, even the steak and lobster, any entree, your second dinner's free. The Fox and Hounds desserts, and I love those. And huge ice cream drinks, buy one, get one free. Unwind with an old-fashioned, a Manhattan. 20 bourbons on their bourbon list, over 100 fine wines, 8 elegant dining rooms with real wood-burning fireplaces. Wherever you live, it's worth the spectacular drive through the Kettle Moraine for your free dinner. Just off Highway 167, 2 miles east of Holy Hill, a Top Choice Award winner for fine dining and most romantic restaurant. Take your family to the Fox and Hounds this week. Half your dinners are free. I love this place. foxandhoundsrestaurant.com.
Basement. Water leaks. Cracks in the walls. Had them? Have them? What do I do? Who can I trust?
I'm here to help. This is your Fix-It host, David Nason, with expert advice for my listeners. There's only one company I trust with basements, and that's my friends at Accurate Basement Repair. That's Accurate Basement Repair. And you know what? You're going to get a free expert evaluation on me. Just tell them David Nason, the Fix-It guy, told me to call. Again, that's Accurate Basement Repair. Check them out at accuratebasementrepair.com.
No matter how many people are in your family, buying new jackets for the cold weather months can be expensive. But when you shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores, prices on cold weather jackets will give you a sigh of relief because thrift store prices mean great deals. And right now we have a great selection. Find great deals on cold weather jackets for the family at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time-saver traffic alert. Some good news for those on 894 West. Looks like that earlier freeway closure at 76th Street, looks like that has been taken care of. At least traffic is back flowing through that point. Had been closed earlier for an incident, but does look like traffic is back flowing on 894 West. Again, that closure earlier at 76th Street looks like that has been opened up. There is a new crash now on 794 South near Car Ferry. That's on the right lane there. But the closure looks like it's been taken care of.
Mild temperatures today, mainly cloudy with a high of 45 degrees. Might see some rain. It'll be scattered throughout the course of the afternoon and evening hours. Tomorrow, you might even hear a rumble of thunder with a high of 47 degrees. Going to stay in that pattern here. Temperatures in the mid-40s throughout the course of the week until we get to Friday with a high of 38. It's 41 and cloudy in Milwaukee at 12:51. Wrapping up Wisconsin's Midday News Monday edition. Jessica is back on Tuesday. A quick update to a story we had earlier today. Robert Cremo, the Illinois man who was accused of shooting up a 4th of July parade in Highland Park, Illinois in 2022, actually pleaded not guilty in a courtroom today. So he was back in court today. 24-year-old. They had jury selection in late February with the trial beginning today, but he did plead guilty. Prosecutors initially charged him with 21 counts of first-degree murder. Big doings coming up here in a few weeks. Opening day is right around the corner. It's hard to believe, but the Brewers are actually going to begin the regular season on the road. They're going to begin in New York against the Mets, and when they return home to face the Royals, it'll be the first game at American Family Field without Bob Uecker behind the mic. And as you might imagine, Adam, the Brewers are going to great lengths to honor the great Bob Uecker throughout the course of the season. And they will do it in a variety of ways, including one of the ways they are honoring him at spring training. You may have seen this. It will be duplicated here in Milwaukee.
We're going to have Bob's autograph really big in the outfield. That's probably the best way he can be with us and with everybody in that way.
That's Brewers Chief Operating Officer Marty Wronski. She was a guest on ESPN Milwaukee this morning. So that giant Uecker signature that you see just south of home plate at American Family Fields of Phoenix, you're going to see it presumably even larger in the outfield at American Family Field.
That's going to look fantastic. I mean, just blowing it up. It already looks amazing at American Family Fields of Phoenix, but being able to do it with the hometown grounds crew, they're going to make it look real nice.
Yeah, it'll be one of a number of remembrances for Uecker. There's going to be a moment of silence at some point before first pitch against the Royals on March 31st. You'll also see that patch that the Brewers will wear on their sleeves. You saw it during the early part of spring training, which I guess it still is early, but the very early goings. That'll be on display throughout the year, the uniforms, and, of course, a larger celebration of life planned for August. We don't have details on that just yet, but imagine opening day to be very special and very Uecker-focused. That's going to hit people, I think, in a different way than a road opener in New York and maybe even spring training broadcasts, of which Bob did a handful of. But he certainly wasn't behind the mic with each and every one of those games.
100%. It's going to be a very emotional day, and we're going to be right there along the ride with all of you here on WTMJ, your home of the Milwaukee Brewers.
We've got baseball tonight, as a matter of fact, here on WTMJ. So the Brewers have a rare night game in the Cactus League. They don't play many of these, maybe 2 or 3 a year. This one on the road against the Reds in Goodyear. So a rare opportunity to catch some Brewers baseball tonight as the Brewers take on the Cincinnati Reds. So should be a good one. We're getting closer to the finish line here, though. Just over 3 weeks away from opening day in New York against the Yankees. That game will be March 27th. If you want to take us with you wherever you go, we certainly encourage that. It's the Wisconsin's Midday News Podcast. It's built by Siding Unlimited, truly siding and a whole lot more. Very easy. Just text the word Midday. Text the word Midday to 855-616-1620. We'll get you all the information sent back to your mobile device. Very simple and easy to subscribe. Wherever you get your podcasts, you can take us with you on Wisconsin's Midday News. In fact, Gina's got about 95% of the show. I think only this segment has not yet been podcasted. So she does a quick turnaround. If you missed any interviews, really from the last several weeks, you will find them on the podcast page. Check it out, Wisconsin's Midday News Podcast.